Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. I'm going to be teaching you how to draw 4 different types of flowers, and you don't need barely any drawing or sketching experience to figure these out. They are super simple, and I got this marker pack off of Amazon, so I will link it down below for you guys. It pretty much just has 60 of the most basic colors, so you can pretty much use any marker set, but if you want your drawings to look exactly like mine did, I recommend getting the same set. And I will have the colors marked, like the numbers marked, so you guys can get the same marker color if you buy the same pack or if you have the same pack. So for this first flower, we're going to need number 3, number 9, number 17, 31, 24, 36, and 42, or you can just grab the closest color you have to that, but I highly recommend making sure you have like the exact same colors or it won't look the same. We're gonna start with color 36, which is a cream or a yellow color, and you're just gonna draw an upside down smiley face pretty much, and then draw a line to connect the two sides and color that in. And you can draw as many flowers as you want. Keep in mind that this is the middle part of your flower, so make sure you have enough room on the sides for the petals. Next, we are going to want to grab our 2 orangish yellow colors. So I will have those up on the screen so you guys can see what colors I'm using. And then we are just going to start in the one corner, pick which side you want to have like the shadows and stuff, and begin with that darker color in that corner. I chose the left-hand corner just because it's easier if like when you're doing projects that you always choose the same side, and that's usually what I do. Then I took the other color and just added dots for the seeds, and you're going to use the oranger color for the seeds. Now you're going to grab your color that you did the shadows and just also add some seeds and some more lines, or you can refrain from doing this. It's really up to you. The drawing is really customizable, so it is great for anyone who just wants to freehand it. Now with these drawings, I always use the pointier side of the marker. It just makes it easier. For the petals, you're just gonna draw like oval shapes, and they are pointed at the beginning and the end, connected to the flower, and on the outside of the petal, it will also be pointed. So just pointy oval shapes and color them in with your light pink. You can see that I also am doing the same thing for the other flower, except I think I want to add one more petal to this flower than the other one. You can really add as many petals as you want. It is completely up to you. Next, you're going to take your hot pink color and add some of that hot pink to the front part of your petal. So the petal away from the middle part of the flower, if that makes sense. Just going up and in towards your middle part of your flower. And I tried to show you guys as best as I could because I am really bad at explaining these kinds of things. So hopefully you guys are good visual learners. After you do this hot pink, you're going to take your next color pink, a little bit of a darker, and start at the tip of your petals and go up towards sort of smearing that color in so that it blends. And you don't have to do this, although I don't like a lot of harsh lines on these flowers, so that is why I choose to blend it a little bit. But I feel it would also look good without, so it's completely up to you. These drawings are really completely up to you. Like, you can change some of the things I do and make it different, or change some of the colors. Then I just took some green and added simple stems, and that's it. Now on to the next flower. For the next flower, here are the colors you are gonna need. Just 4 basic colors, and that is it. So this one is simpler than the first one is because you need less colors for this one. Start with your yellow and make the center of your flower. So do it the same way we did last time, or you can make a circle and do it that way. But I'm gonna do it both ways. So I did the basic middle from the first one and then a circle one so I could show you the different types of flowers or different sides. Now you're going to take your light blue and just draw the same petals you did for the first flowers, but just smaller. So on a much smaller scale, we're just going to use the same diamond sort of petal shape and do that all the way around. And then on your other shape, if you're not doing the circular one, just take the same concept you did for the first one and just go across the bottom with those diamond shaped petals. Next, you're going to take your dark blue and go the opposite of what you did for the first flowers. Start at the middle and go out. About halfway I went, and then on some of them I did like variations. So on some I did further, on some I went closer into the flower, and it's completely up to you. Now you're going to take your light blue again, and you are going to color those flowers, except going the opposite way this time. Start at the middle and then drag it to the front of your petal. This gives it, again, a faded look or an ombre effect, which I really like. Once you finish that, you're just going to take your green, and again, we're just going to add basic stems, except this time I did sort of straight, and then I added little leaves, and for the leaves, you just use the same technique as the petals, and that is finished. On to the next one. We are doing this cool sunflower one, and I have all the colors. This one is a bit more complicated, so many different colors in this one. You're going to begin with your lemon yellow, and you're going to draw a nice big circle. For this one, I'm only doing one flower because it is so large. Then we're going to cut out a little area for your light, and again, I always add my shadows to the left-hand corner. So that is where I decided to put the shadows, and then I left the little light spot up in the right-hand corner. And now we're going to start by just adding some shadows, some yellow ochre, and some browns or light browns. And we're going to start at that left-hand corner or wherever you decided to add your shadows. And then again, we are going to be adding some seeds. So I don't have any special techniques for this. I sort of just dab the color wherever I want seeds, and that seems to work out fine. I did take some light brown and just touch up that highlighted area that I wanted to be light, because I don't want it to be too light that it stands out more than the petals itself. And then I did add like a very dark brown to add some of those darker seeds in the corner. So this is really up to you where you want all your shadows and stuff like that. I do always, like I said, put them in the left-hand corner. It's just easier if I always have that one spot where I put the shadows, just to remember and keep it simple. Now we are going to start by adding the petals, and the petals sort of have a heart shape, or this is how I design them. So you're going to start at the bottom, work one heart side and then the other heart side. So this one is pretty simple. The petals are really easy to draw. I feel like this would be a great flower for the kids to draw because the petals are so easy. Then you're just going to color them in all the way with that yellow that you used for drawing the petals. And I am going to bring out my bulky side of the marker to just color it in faster, because using the small side might take a while. Then we're just going to take a little bit of a darker yellow and start at the center and work our way out, just adding some dark shadow lines or petal lines. And these are common on sunflowers to have different colors, especially in the middle. You're going to see so many different colors depending on how you look at it or depending how the sun is hitting it. So definitely don't be afraid to get in there with a whole bunch of different yellows and stuff and just experiment. I always recommend testing out your markers first though on a separate sheet of paper, just to make sure the colors are going to turn out the way you want. I did also add some orange to the center just to add some seeds, and then I did add orange to the petals just to add some lines to make it look different, more exciting. Once you finish experimenting with your petals, I did go back over with the same yellow I used to color them in and just blend everything together just to quiet some of those harsher lines. Now for your stem, it is going to be a little bit thicker, so I tried to push down a little bit harder. Then I drew two very big leaves and sectioned out a spot where I wanted to put the light. So I colored the whole petal in except for that spot I sectioned, and then I took my lighter green and colored in that spot where I closed off for the shadow or light spot, for the highlight. And that is finished. Now on to the easiest flower of the four, which is these water lilies. You're only going to need 4 colors, and this one is definitely the easiest out of the 4. Just 3 basic pinks and a green. You're going to begin with your lightest pink, and you're going to draw a bowl shape with like spikes on top of it. So that's it. You just draw like triangle shapes over and over again. It's really, really simple. Then you're just going to color it in. And I did draw a couple different lilies just so you guys could see the different shapes I'm making and different sizes, just so you guys can have some variations. Now you're going to take your darker pink and go across the bottom, just the bottom part, and add some detail. I really like adding the darker on top of the lighter. It just really adds more interest to it, makes it look like it has more depth, and it gives it more visual interest for sure. And then I did go ahead and take a darker marker than the one I used to add the highlights and just go across the bottom a little bit. Now taking your light pink, you're just going to go over all the flowers again just to seal everything in. Now with your dark green, you're just going to start at one end and go to the other, making sort of a sideways C shape. And this is for the petals or lily pads. and then you're going to just color that in, and that's pretty much it. These are definitely the easiest ones out of all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I had so much fun drawing these 4 flowers with you guys. Let me know what kind of tutorials you want to see next, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.